Our movie begins with a teen called Oh Joon-woo is alone in his family's apartment, and when he wakes up and started to have a normal day, he found out that zombies begin to attack and infect people outside and took over the city. And he saw that on the TV news, and he didn't know what caused that or what is going on. And while he watches from his window, he found absolute chaos regarding the situation. There are zombies who attack and bite people, then infect them, and the situation is disastrous. And when he looks around him from the balcony, everyone is running for his life and no one is safe. He even saw a daughter bites her mother and infect her, and he couldn't believe what he is seeing. Then he looks at the door and tries to see from the hole of the door. Then he slowly opens the door to see. When he inspects the apartment hallway, a neighbor barges in. He begs to stay, but Joon-woo tries to get him out of his apartment. But his neighbor insists that everything is okay with him, and he cannot get out because everything outside is not safe at all, and that his brother became also a zombie. But Joon-woo told him that he doesn't care, and told him to call the police or something to help him, and Joon-woo insists that he leaves. But his neighbor said, "I can't. Did you see what is happening outside?" But Joon-woo said, "Just leave." But his neighbor said, "Okay, but I want to use the bathroom." Then Joon-woo told him, "Okay, but you leave immediately after that." Then Joon-woo saw the anchor man on the TV is talking about the symptoms of the infection, and is saying that the shouting and the red eyes are the main symptoms of this case, and that the zombies don't just attack people and infect them, they eat them too, and that some of the zombies are reacting in a violent way, and the situation in the overcrowded areas is catastrophic. Then Joon-woo searched for a knife, and when his neighbor got out from the bathroom, he threatened him with it. But his neighbor said, "I am not infected." Then Joon-woo told him to leave, and that he said he will leave after he gets out of the bathroom, but he told him that he want to stay for another hour. Then Joon-woo saw the wound of his neighbor's hand and asked him, "What is that?" But his neighbor told him that it is fine, but shortly, the zombie's symptoms started to appear on his neighbor until he becomes a zombie and attacks Joon-woo. Joon-woo pushes him out and locks the door, then watches a large zombie attack his neighbor through the peephole. Then Joon-woo blocks his front door with the fridge, so no one can enter the apartment from the zombies. Then he tries to make some calls, but nothing available. Then Joon-woo receives messages from his parents telling him they are safe, and they told him that the food he has should be enough for him for 2 days. Then he decided to survive and remain alive. And when he wakes up, he listens to the anchor woman on the TV says that the zombies outbreak became out of control, said that the infection is related to the brain while there is a mutated virus that attacks the brain. A brain whereas the human feelings are there, and then converts them to complete violence. And then he posts a rescue request on social media while carrying a sign. He wrote on the post, firstly, the address and the number of his apartment. Then he deleted it and wrote, "I want to live." Then he saw other videos on social media of others trying to deliver a message to be rescued. And, by attaching his phone to a drone, he scouts his neighborhood and realizes it is now overrun. Though the emergency power stays on, Joon-woo gradually loses access to phone networks, the internet, and running water. Then, one night, Joon-woo sees zombies taking down a police officer outside. After she tried to resist them, but there was no way she survives, then he screams at them, leading a zombie to break into the apartment and knock over the fridge, destroying the food. But he managed to ambush the zombie. Joon-woo lures it into falling off the balcony. Then he saw the police officer turned into a zombie as well, and then he fixed his broken door. Then the anchorman said an announcement to all the citizens, "Stay at home and don't get out, and avoid contact with people, and if there's a danger at home, move to a safe place. This is an emergency situation, and get ready for any emergency." Then he live streamed his situation to the people, and he said in the live stream, "Hello, my name is Joon-woo, and this is the second day I am stuck at home to survive. This is the last message I have received from my dad. I can't live like that. It is a miracle that I can record that live stream. That is everything for today. Like and subscribe." Then Joon-woo resorts to drinking liquor of his father to survive. Then he hears on the TV news that the main cause of infection is biting, and that the zombies have strong senses like the normal humans. Then he discovered that the water is gone. Then he went to record another live stream on day 10, and he says in the video, "I am still Joon-woo, and the food and water are gone now, but I will not leave the home instead of being bitten. You may starve too. Everything on the TV is the same every day. They tell us to stay at home. I don't know what is the situation right now. My mother doesn't like watching the TV. She likes listening to the radio during the homework, and she leaves a message on the radio. If the internet is cut, you can turn on the radio during any emergency, but you will need a wired headphone." But he found that all his headphones are wireless. Then it is day 15, and he is still trapped every day in the same situation. And that got him psychologically to the point that he stated to hallucinate about his family due to hunger and thirst. When the phone network is momentarily restored, Joon-woo receives a voicemail from his family recording their refuge being overrun. His rage causes him to destroy everything in the TV. Then Then he leaves the apartment and attacks zombies. But when a horde attacks, he flees and barely manages to sneak back inside. And on day 20, he saw explosions far away. And then he went to record a live stream, but he only said hello. Then he closed the video, and he became very desperate that he no longer sees any hope in life while everything stays like that. And he decided to commit suicide. So Joon-woo attempts to hang himself, but stops when he sees a laser pointer's light. The signal comes from Kim Yoo-bin, a survivor living in the opposite apartment building. He smiled and became happy that he finally found someone alive like him, and she pointed to him at 7 o'clock as a time to see her. Then he told her that he is hungry. Yoo-bin tries to set up a zip line between their apartments by tying a cable to her table and throwing the other end to Joon-woo, but it lands in the street. Joon-woo uses his drone to set up another line successfully, and she sent to him some food and water to eat and drink, but an infected firefighter pulls on the first cable, causing Yoo-bin's table to fly across her apartment, knock her out, and lodge into her balcony railing. The zombie starts climbing the cable. Joon-woo tries to distract him firstly by throwing a bottle, then by sacrificing his drone after so many maneuvers, giving Yoo-bin enough time to wake up and kill the zombie after he was inches away from getting her. Then Joon-woo realized that he should get food from other sources. Then an idea came to his mind that he sneaks to his neighbor's apartments and takes some food from there. Then he started to prepare himself to get out and sneak, and he encouraged himself. Then he started to move in the hallway quietly, and then Joon-woo raids his neighbor's unit for food, clothing, and walkie-talkies, narrowly avoiding his zombified neighbor. But some zombie attacked him, but he managed to walk away quickly and escaped before he bites him. And then he managed to return to his apartment, and he started to eat and drink the food he took from the neighbor's unit, and he enjoyed it a lot. Then he sends a walkie-talkie and food to Yoo-bin, and the two talk and bond. He thanks her for saving his life, but she thanks him back for also saving her life, and she said to him that there is always a reason to live. Then she became emotional and asked him to change the subject they are talking about. Then he told her to eat noodles, and they started to make it simultaneously, as he knows well how it is made, and he instructs her on how to make correctly. Then they talked about themselves, and then he told her that he hears the sound of rain, and told her to bring the sink to fill it the rainwater. But when they went to the windows, they found that suddenly the infected hordes become agitated and nervous, and they penetrated all the buildings. Yoo-bin accidentally knocks over a shelf. The noise causes zombies to converge at her door, and Joon-woo heard also the noise. Then he asked her if everything is okay, and if she is okay. She responded that they started to come close to her door. Then he asked her about her apartment number. Then Joon-woo distracts them by calling the unit adjacent to hers. What a smart idea he had. Then both of them got dressed well and equipped themselves and prepared themselves for getting out soon. Yoo-bin says the 8th floor of Joon-woo's apartment looks empty. Joon-woo asked, "Are you sure?" She responded, "Yes, I am sure." He said even if there was someone there, he either died because of hunger and thirst or the zombies may killed him. Then she said to Joon-woo that she will not get out from the door. Then she tied a rope and brought a table in front of the balcony. Then she said to Joon-woo, "Can we really do this?" He said to her, "I don't really know. I want to really live. I don't want to be bitten by the zombies later. I don't want to be eaten by them later. I want to survive. So let's live together." The pair gear up, rappel from their balconies. Then Joon-woo said to her that he will descend to distract them and will give her the signal to move. But suddenly, she jumped out of her balcony and descended, and she started to fight the zombies one by one, and she were a beast that Joon-woo couldn't believe his eyes while she is putting on a magnificent show. And she saw a gun on the street while she was fighting the zombies, and she took it. And while the zombie was about to bite her, Joon-woo came to save her, and they both fight their way to the 8th floor. But the doors are locked and the zombies have followed them. Suddenly, a stranger emerges from the last suite on the floor and saves them. Then when the stranger closed the door at the last second, he told them not to thank him. Yoo-bin asked him why you saved us. He told her that she begged him to save them. She said, "I am sure that the 8th floor is empty." Then they sat with him and they asked him, "How did you survive?" He responded, "I really survived, and I saw that I am the only one is living here." Then Joon-woo said, "We also thought that we are the only ones living here. I think that the situation changed." The stranger said, "I thought that too, but not anymore." Joon-woo said, "Yeah, we are 3 persons now." But the stranger said, "But you now know what type of people they are. You know that you are alive and hear the news about them on TV." Then the stranger asked them, "How did you meet? Do you know each other?" Joon-woo said, "No, we don't. We know each other 4 days ago." Then Joon-woo asked him, "But uncle, do you live here alone?" He gives them water, and when they did not drink, he says, "Okay, this world became like this. Maybe you don't believe me." Then he drank from the same water. Then they drank too. Then he asked them, "By the way, are you hungry? Can I bring you something to eat?" Then he gave them food and they started to eat. And he told them, "This the amount of food we should eat until the rescue team comes to here." Joon-woo said, "Rescue team?" The stranger said, "Yes, they said that the rescue team will come here. So this is the reason why you you came here, right? Then they became very happy, and Joon-woo became very optimistic and full of hope. Then Yoo-bin asked the stranger, "How did you hide?" He said, "You can hide when you grow up. The wife's avoiding of smoking is very useful." Then Yoo-bin asked him, "By the way, do you have kids?" He said, "No, but we got 2 today." But the food he gave them was drugged, and Joon-woo falls asleep. The stranger binds the pair's wrists and locks Yoo-bin in a bedroom with his restrained, infected wife, and Yoo-bin tried to resist. Joon-woo wakes up and threatens the stranger, but he releases his wife's restraints from outside the bedroom. Once Yoo-bin goes silent, the stranger opens the bedroom door, only to find Yoo-bin having wrapped the infected wife's head in fabric. The infected wife attacks her husband, and Yoo-bin shoots them both. The gunshots attract more zombies. Yoo-bin asks Joon-woo to kill her before they get in, and she gave him the gun and says, "We are still human. We will survive." As he hesitates, they hear helicopters outside. Then they decided to get out and fight their way to the rooftop to reach the helicopters, and they used the smoke bombs that were with the stranger, and they continued to run while hitting and fighting with the zombies until they reached the stairs. And then Joon-woo was busy with the zombies, and he let Yoo-bin to pass and told her to move quickly to the rooftop and stop the helicopter. And she said to him, "Come quickly, don't be late." Then when they reached the rooftop, the helicopters were gone, and then they tried to shout so someone can hear them, but no one can hear them. Then the zombies broke into the rooftop and ran towards them, and Joon-woo started to shoot at them and kill them, but there are not enough bullets. And just before they are overwhelmed, an army helicopter holds off the zombies and carries the pair to safety. A voiceover by an anchor explains wireless networks are being restored, and the military is rescuing survivors who made social media posts. The film ends with Joon-woo's social media posts #CheckStayAlive, changing its wording into "alive."